Welcome to another question and answer in English.
It's not the longest video in the world, but we got
there are some questions, and we talked about that. We just keep on the content in English to give people a feeling.
Danny41 asks about the NC weighting video.
Yes.
He asks, how much weight can you save with the lightweight battery? How much more weight can you save on braking system? Now it's from RX-8, I think. With wider tires, could it go down close to 7.15, 7.2 minutes BTG on Nordschleife?
I think it's done. I think it's the owner himself.
No, it's Danny41.
Yeah, but it could be Daniele.
That could be.
So actually, I think we can save about 5 kilos in the battery. On the braking side, I'm pretty sure we can save about 10 kilos because RX-8 brakes and rotors are really heavy. They work good, but they are heavy. I think with wider tires we have the problem that the body is rubbing, so this is the biggest problem, and we need some aero on the car, but we will see it pretty soon. So season is pretty near to start, but yeah.
And do you think a 715, 720 is possible on the NC?
Yes. Yeah, 715 should be possible.
I think, especially with the new tarmac on the Nordschleife,
it should do easy. Yeah. So this will be interesting. I think a lot of packages we will be also posting on the website with timing on the Nordschleife.
Kreisal Darmstadt asks, could you show us Flo's build? I've heard he's doing something really interesting.
For sure. I think we just have to ask Flo. He's still around. He's making a BMW 125 diesel. He's swapping it to LS Bond V8, which is a cool project. But like always, like projects, time is the problem. And actually this company at the moment is really time consuming. For sure.
To the last workshop Wednesday in English, Tom Kussman asks, how much horsepower can the standard ND gearbox take? My dealer said they are very fragile for tuning, or maybe he's full of shit.
Actually depends on. G160 Series 1 probably is the weakest gearbox which you can get. This one got really problems. We saw special Edelbrock supercharged cars with problems. We saw cars on track with problems, and we saw street cars with problems. Series 2 and 3 went really better, special Series 3. And the G184, which is Series 4, we never had any gearbox failure at the moment.
So it depends on what gearbox generation you have.
Yes. If you have a first gen ND with the first gearbox, it's not a thing about if, it's more a thing about when.
Mark Zawada asks, what does it cost to achieve 280 horsepower on throttle bodies on a 2.5? I'm from UK. Because
we had many people from UK were asking for that throttle body setup and for that engine setup. I think this is probably a question which should be a bit longer, because there are two things we just have to talk about. The first thing is special on the NC platform. I think the guys in the States are just doing some improving, and also they're doing their knowledge to the body now. What we saw that we were nearly all the time above power levels where everybody was before, and we just did a 2.3 liter NC with about 400 horsepower on road tracks. This video was sadly in German. Probably we'll make another one in English because it's pretty interesting. And we saw that we have trigger wheel timing problems on the NC, special and high powered and special high powered road tracks cars. So just be careful about that, but we will make another video just in English. People in Germany know it. and the 280 horsepower on the NC. At the moment, the engine is disassembled, but we do some improvements to the engine because we want to go up to 300 natural aspirated on a 2.5. And I think something like this, about 18, 20K, depends just on the setup. It's just like the engine to build it up. It's not that expensive. It's about 8 to 10K, something like this. Bodies, 2K, ECU, and a lambda sensor, about another 2K or 2.5. So then it just comes on. You need an airbox for sure.
Quite quickly.
Yeah, and you need an airbox, that for sure, because when you run without an airbox, the hot engine in the NC engine bay special just kills power like horror. So the BBR setups out there, they are nice, but you have to use them with a platinum, that for sure. And yeah, we can calculate it, but it's not cheap. But at the end of the day, I just tell you, it's one of the best cars which I was driving. And it's not really light, the car. It's not the powerfulest car, and actually in times to 100, 200, it was not really, really fast. But the way it feels and the emotion, it just picks you, that's great. Yeah, it's like, it's that kind of car which a petrol guy loves to drive. You have that really nice induction sound in the front, and you have a nice exhaust tone on the back, and you have a really nice shifting. The car feels stiff, it's cornering perfectly, it's braking perfectly. So all these little components at the end of the day makes a perfect car. And I think that was one part I love to drive it. I all the time called to the customer, I said it's like a therapy to drive that car on a weekend. So yeah, this is something, just shoot us over an email and you just get an understanding, and we just have to calculate it.
Yeah. Rally Racing asks, or says, a Miata is just a compromise. In reality, everyone wants an F40. About the F40 video.
For sure. I would say the F40 is probably one of the scariest cars which I was ever driving. It was probably one of the emotional parts of my life, driving that car. But yeah, to drive a 400 horsepower MX-5 is also nothing unemotional. So it's completely two different cars. But when somebody asks me, like always, what is for you the perfect car? I say it's a 3-liter V6 and an MX-5 NA. It's like, because this is just what I say, that the power spot is perfect. You have a really nice driving. You can run 14 inches. So you can run small wheels and tires. You have that nice sound from the engine. You have a V6 engine. It's reffy, which is really, it has to be on an MX-5. So this is something we just want to take another look to the V8s when we make them, that they should be more reffy. We made a new exhaust that V8 banging is not so extreme, because for my feeling the V8 banging in MX-5 NA is not like it should sound. And yeah, it's like F40 is emotional, definitely, but it's completely different to an MX-5.
And I think,
or to a different car. So
yeah.
I drove 993, I drove 964s, I drove 348s, 355s, so I drove a lot of cars. On the racetrack, the F40 is like, you're sitting in that car, you're just shifting the gears, and going down the straights is like, you really feel that massive wave of power, and it's like you sit in a little red Diva and say, okay, just do not want to wreck it, you want to catch it in the corner, and you really have a lot of respect to the car. You know, as an example with the MX-5, you say, okay, it's not cheap, that car, but you can do what you want to, because at the end of the day it's an MX-5. And both worlds, I think, they are good.
Yeah.
On the other hand, and this is something which I would say is important, and this is the interesting part of the MX-5, the MX-5 is not expensive. Yeah. And that has to be there. Because when these cars are getting more and more expensive, everybody will say, no, I would not modify it or whatever. And MX-5 unmodified, yeah, it's okay. You can drop the roof down, but it's a 110 horsepower, 1,000 kilo car. So nobody will just say, whoa, it drives crazy. Yeah. My opinion.
Yeah, and I think as soon as a car gets so valuable that you don't want to drive it every day,
yeah,
then it's just a piece of art in the corner.
Yeah, it's like we have one customer with a V6 NA. The car wasn't cheap, but he's like, I do not want to have the car to be perfect, because when it's perfect, I will not use it anymore.
Yeah.
And this is the point where I think the biggest difference between a Porsche driver or a Porsche owner, which is sometimes also a Miata owner, and an MX-5 owner, because both worlds are really nice to get together.
Yeah. Wallalu says, all the content has been great so far. Really appreciate the effort you put out English content.
Thank you for that. Hopefully the next videos will also take some interest. We saw it's claiming it's not like this, but but our channel is not the biggest one. So I would say, yeah, if you could support us over there a bit in England and in America and everywhere, Australia, whatever. Yeah, I'm really happy if you just give us
the subscribe button.
Yeah, that would be really nice. And then we just make more English content.
Yeah. Sören Rehmann says about the F40 video. Gentlemen, I am very impressed. Next, get a GMA T50 or T33. You can do it. I don't actually know what it is.
For sure, I do not know also. But I can ask Sören because his car is here. And I can ask him. There are so many, actually there are so many great cars out there, and I think at the moment we are just specialized in the MX-5s, and I really love the cars. But at the end of the day, you know, it's like we're also looking left and right, so we will see where the water takes us.
Ricardo Espiritu asks, says, as soon as the ITBs for the ND Miata are released, I'll get them immediately. Best of luck with the business. And one last question, does the ITBs will be sold with a carbon intake plenum?
No, they will come with something like fiberglass or whatever. But for a street car, we are like this far at the moment. So the TOE situation in Germany is horrible, and we're just getting all week cars to the TOE test center and do tests and run emissions tests and all that stuff to legalize all the turbo kits, all the conversions, ITBs and all that stuff. But it will take still a while, and yeah, when we are done with projects which we're doing here, finding solutions for problems which we have here, then we just catch up on new problems, which are 2-liter ITBs on the ND.
Joanne's Jill about the Turbo NC with BMW transmission says, hello, will you guys have any conversion parts for the BMW transmission for sale?
Yes, I think this is like I mentioned, the problem at the moment is just time. We will do another BMW conversion in, I think, about 8 weeks or something here in-house, but there's lots of manufacturing. And at the end of the day, the kits are not that cheap. So you see it's €3,500 for the NA and B, so it will be the same for the NC, plus the transmission. So the market is not like this, it's actually pretty small, but the market is there. So yeah, we will see. I think, give us another 6 months and it will be there, for sure. Yeah,
Ubercharged NB2 says that about the drift car. That's an interesting setup. 700 horsepower, holy shit.
Thank you. It's a really, really crazy project. It's probably, from the part which we are building, on that side, I think it's one of the craziest projects which we did. From the knowledge side, I think the whole TOE situation is the craziest part in the business at the moment. That what we are doing is like we are just working like a car manufacturer at the moment.
Yeah. Again, the drift car. Ronny Siegrist says, really exciting project. We are looking forward to the final result and stay tuned. Thanks to the whole SPS Motorsport team for the tireless work on this vehicle and the great content in the MX-5 division. Greetings from Switzerland.
Thank you for that. Actually, so he's the owner. I'm just looking to the car. So car looks now like a car. And it's cool when you just have all that stuff in mind. You say, okay, we just do this and this and this way, and we just make it this, and it comes together. It's a crazy project. It takes a lot of time to make it. We had a lot of, it's called flybacks, or let's say throwbacks or difficulties on parts. So this was really a Corona shit-loaded project, if you could tell it. And I think, yeah, it's like I'm really excited how this car will go, how it will sound, how much power it will do, how drivable it will be. So all these parts are really interesting, and there will be a lot more time still into that car. But yeah, now I'm pretty confident that we see a little white dot at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Teleologisting, that's a difficult name, asks, can you provide the spelling of the parts for the intake manifold construction, please? I couldn't make it out. Geisel works manifold and the trumpet plate, etc. Thank you.
Yeah, it's actually Gieselwerks. This is the name in Germany. You name him, and you can ask him. Yeah, he made the manifold for the car.
Yeah, and also
he's doing the manifolds for the MX-5 and A and Bs, and he's doing a lot of custom and fab work for us.
About the 230 horsepower and D Miata with HKS, Thomas Muirhead asked, what size pulley on your kit?
The standard one, which comes from HKS. There is nothing really special on it. It's like we just take it out of the box, just drop it in, and dyno it. But yeah, that was also, now we're just doing our own road tracks kit. I think at the end of the day, it's more kit for less price.
Yeah, and the last question, Robert Regiak asked about the 2.5 liter NC ITB. Does it have TUV? PS, I love it. I love ITBs.
For sure, we're just making now a kit with ITBs and TOV. At the moment, we are struggling with Euro 5 and turbos with TOV. We run, or we did not pass the first Euro 5 test. Actually, everything was perfect, just the cold start. So this will be another problem to solve. But yeah, I'm sure we will do it. So yeah, we will see when we have done all that steps, which are now important to do until April. Then we just look to further problems and projects. But yeah, I'm pretty happy when we can get back to the normal way of business and have just one project with one problem and not 10 projects and 50 problems. So yeah, I got 99 problems, but the car just got one. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really happy if we can do English content, because I just read a lot of Miata Turbo and everywhere in the world. So if you have any questions and you see the stuff which we are building and how we build it and you have questions to it, I'm really happy to answer. And yeah, see you in the next videos. Bye.